Welcome back to In Ohio Country today, and I'm here in beautiful Mercer County outside of Maria Stein with Dale Everman with Homan Inc. And you know, Dale, we've talked about feeding equipment, and now we want to talk about the manure equipment.
Well, as they always say, what goes in must come out. So Homan Inc. here, not only do we do the feed side, we do the manure side. So we've got we're a Gia dealer with Hool tanks, pit agitation, lagoon agitation. We're an Artex dealer on the dry pen pack and litter side. So we have several offerings for the manure side.
Well, you know, yeah, there's a lot of ways that the waste gets handled. The manure, it's good nutrients for the crops, obviously, but they have to be handled responsibly. And you have the equipment here to help a farmer do that.
Yeah, so on the Artex side, we usually like to put the Raven systems on. It helps with the crop rate, the manure rate going on, and they'd like to have some records of where it's going and how much is going on. With the Hool side, flow meters kind of gives us an idea how many gallons per acre we're putting on. We are also a Bazooka Farm Star dealer, so we do some drag lining equipment, whether it's splashing it on or injecting it into the soil.
As you mentioned, you know, there's a lot of ways to handle the animal waste and put it to good use for our crops. But a lot of this equipment today, as we've talked about with feeding equipment and stuff, the technology, and allowing a producer to do it in an environmentally responsible way.
Yeah, so, you know, being in Grand Lake watershed, we got guys in Lake Erie, Wabash. It's important that these guys, with their manure management plans, keep track of what is being put on the ground. Even with like chicken litter, guys, you know, they send so many tons to that field, and then from there they load it and spread it. So they want to make sure that they're utilizing the tonnage that they pay for on the acres that they're covering with. ODA and them all want more records, so the idea for these guys to have an easy system set up in the tractor when they're spreading is easy, that they can, you know, take it out as an Excel spreadsheet, send it in, and they're done.
Yeah, you know, on our farm, you know, we have a comprehensive nutrient plan, right, to deal with, because we have cattle and stuff like that, and we have that, and it's so important for us to be in compliance, and if we're checked, we have the records.
Yeah. So when you run it through your control modules, depending on how precise you want to get with your tanks or your drag line or your dry application, a lot of that stuff is recorded by GPS, the tons per acre, the gallon per acre, which then therefore tells you what you're applying to that field. And with the drag lining systems, the thing that I see the best with the coulter tills is it's injecting it into the soil, and it's keeping your nitrogen and as much nutrients in that soil without losing it to evaporation or gassing off.
Well, and or runoff.
That too. Big no-no. But it's very important that we take into consideration the soil type, the drying, the amount of fluid we're applying to that acre to make sure we do not have any issues down the road.
Well, Dale, you know, we've talked about equipment on the outside and getting it applied, but there's a lot more to getting that in the tank.
Well, whether it's tank or dry, we do a lot of stuff in the dairy facilities with flush systems, flushing the freestall barns out, keeping stuff agitated. We also work with Ag Pro on separation systems to separate your solids, so you can reuse your water as a flushing water, or out in the field as a third stage lagoon, where you can put it in a center pivot and apply it back to your corn or beans for the farm that you're on. On the dry side, we work with Pat's, and Pat's does a conveying system. We put a lot of these systems into these poultry facilities that convey the manure from the bird area out to the storage building, where then they can sell their manure off-site, and the trucks aren't having to go inside the buildings.
Well, and not only that, but when they're conveying that stuff out there, it actually, as we were talking off camera, that, you know, it allows that they'll put it in that building and they allow it to compost for a while. Yeah,
so with that poultry manure, I mean, they could store up to 6 to 8, 9 months. So in that meantime, it allows for that manure to dry a little bit, as well as compost. So you're keeping your value in your manure and available to store and keep the facility running year round.
You know, one thing that I think that is important to understand. You made mention about the separation, particularly in the dairy, and using the water for flush. But once that's separated, the dry matter, they reuse that for bedding as well.
Yeah, either they use it for bedding, or we've even had guys come in and put it in topsoil, and they mix it in with topsoil, and it works great for yards to hold moisture and help germinate the new grass seed in there.
Well, Dale, it's when you're putting equipment in, it's important to work with somebody that's going to do it right.
Yeah, we've been installing manure equipment and feed equipment for probably 30 or 40 years. So we've got a very good staff and install crew on site that installs anything we sell, make sure it gets installed correctly to maintain the safety and protection of the people that are working around it.
Well, Dale, if somebody wanted to find out more information about the manure handling equipment that you have here at Homan Inc., where can they go?
Check us out at homaninc.com. We've got the manure site on there where you can look at either the dry manure spreaders, the whole equipment, and the PATS equipment as well. We've also got Bazooka Farm Star on there, so take a look. It is something, if you've got livestock, whether it's chickens, or turkeys, cows, pigs, we've got a manure and feed system for you.
You can check them out on our site, inohiocountry.com. There's a link to their website. We'll be back with more right after this.